Hey, Doug Walker here. I am going to be talking about Disney's latest animated hit, Moana, and I'll address the first thing that a lot of you have been emailing me about. Yes, I know they say sparkle, sparkle, sparkle in this, kind of like my Thomas and the Tank Engine movie review, and a lot of you have been going, they're referencing the review, and then I saw your name in the credits, so they must be referencing your review. I think I saw Rob's name in there too. Okay, couple things. One, it seems very unlikely they're referencing me. The scene is like she's out there as a distraction and for the monster that likes sparkly things, so she just goes, "Look at me, I'm sparkly, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle." I feel like that line would exist even without me referencing that. And then, in terms of my name being in the credits, my name has actually been in most animated Disney films, as far as I know, since Beauty and the Beast, and my brothers. We have never worked there. There just happens to be two people, I don't know if they're related, but there is a Doug Walker and a Rob Walker that we actually look for in the credits of these animated Disney films because we spotted them once. I think we saw Rob's name. He's like, "Look, I'm in the credits." And we're like, "Oh, well, now we gotta look for Doug's name." And sure enough, my name was there too. So it's just a coincidence. I don't think they're referencing me when they're doing the sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. But if they are, this is one of the greatest films ever made. And if not, it's a piece of crap. Don't go see it. Okay, that's gotten out of the way so you can stop with the emails and everything. Most of you know what this is about. This is a sort of Hawaiian folklore. I don't know if that's correct terminology, but definitely based on like Hawaiian myths and demigods and stuff like that. Of this, these several islands and the worlds are being consumed by some sort of evil because Maui has stolen the heart of this island and has turned everything bad. So Moana, the daughter of this chief, is set out, or she sends herself out to go and find Maui so that he can return the heart, which is the stone, to the island and make everything better again. I feel like I need to review this in two ways. I'll tell you why in a second. The one way I had to review it is just what I think the majority of people who want to go see this movie are going to think. And then the other way is just what I personally think. In terms of like what people, the moviegoers or people that love Disney or loved Frozen or Zootopia or any of those are gonna think, I think they're gonna like it great. It's a good family film, and I say family, not kids. Kids are fine, they can watch it and they'll totally enjoy it, but it's a good family film. There's stuff for adults as well. The characters are likable. There's the cute little comic relief. There's good songs that are hummable. Visually, it's very interesting. There's a lot of creativity to it. There's some good comedy to it. So this is a perfectly likable, enjoyable family film, and I like that so much more effort is being put into family films and so forth, so that makes me very, very happy, and I'm always glad when I can say a good family film is out there and I recommend it. Okay, now my thoughts. You know that Disney checklist that you feel with every Disney movie you see, and it's always there. Ever since Snow White, they've altered it and changed it a little bit, but it's always kind of been there. I felt that much more in this film than I did some of the other ones that came out, like Zootopia and Frozen and even kind of Big Hero 6 in a sense. This movie didn't... The reason I hold it to kind of this higher standard, because, you always know this checklist, but I always kind of hold it to a little bit of a higher standard because I really do enjoy Disney and I'm always astounded by them, just what they are, how they're still around, and how they're able to turn out such good material constantly with a very familiar formula. Very repetitive formula, honestly, but still enough new things that it feels kind of different, and it feels exciting and inspiring and heartfelt and magical, as the word they always use, and that always intrigues me. I'm so intrigued by that. So I think it's always good pointing out when that's done so well that you kind of don't notice that checklist. But then I think it is also worth pointing out when it becomes maybe when there's a lack of newer things in there, and that's always a complaint. People say, well, how much newer stuff do you want? It's I want enough new stuff that it distracts me from that checklist. They even kind of reference it. There's a scene where Maui is talking to Moana and says, so let me get this right. This princess comes along. She says, I'm not a princess. And he says, you wear a dress, you have a comedic animal sidekick, you're a princess. Even they know the checklist. I mean, they know it, but even they're having fun with it, and that the mass public kind of catches on to it too. And I feel like with this story and the characters and everything, even though there's nothing bad, I can't point to anything in there and be like, oh, that was bad. This was not good. Everything is good, but there wasn't enough of like kind of a spin or there wasn't enough added to it compared to the other recent films that have come out that made me say, all right, this is exciting, this is thrilling, this is magical. I sort of got that. I said, this is fine, this is cute, this is, a nice little adventure. I never quite got, for something that I can tell was trying to be really big and really massive and really emotional, and when those emotional scenes hit, I was not feeling like, wow, I'm really with this character. I'm really with their dilemma. And even some of the comedy when, I saw it with an audience of a lot of kids, a lot of adults, and, they would laugh. Don't get me wrong, but compared to these other movies, these other Disney films like Zootopia, they didn't laugh as hard. And I think they could just kind of feel like they know how this is supposed to go, that they know, okay, well, we have to hit this because it's the checklist, and you can, the point I knew where I was gonna kind of have this problem most likely was at the very beginning. You see they give the backstory, and then you see Moana as this little kid, and which the best part of the movie, by the way, beginning and ending, best visuals. One you've seen in I think it was like the Japanese trailer or something like that, where the ocean is kind of just having fun with the little toddler of her and like messing with her hair and doing it. That's amazing. I mean, that was just like one of the best parts. And then the other best part is at the very end, one of the final visuals after the villain's destroyed. Those who have seen it know what I'm talking about. Unbelievable visual. This is something where it's like Disney World, Disneyland, get on making this thing an attraction, or just somewhere where you can, just go and experience it, or some sort of sculpture. I don't care. You gotta get on this. I mean, because this just looks amazing. So, like I said, those who've seen the movie know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, so they sort of set her up, and they have this, ooh, she's a traveler, she's a wanderer, but guess what the father, the chief, says? No, there's no traveling out there. No going beyond the Great Reef. No going beyond. You are staying here. You are staying here. How often have you heard this? I mean, it is just, not even Disney movies. I mean, you just sort of see this over and over. It's the tradition. We have to stay here. We have to be this. And that's fine. It's really fine. Even the Pixar films and stuff sort of repeat these ideas, but Pixar adds something new to it most of the time, and so does Disney. But this felt like the father's identity, while he was, supportive and kind and stuff, he was just there to say, no, you can't. He was just there to be proven wrong. And then you have sort of this comedic grandma, who, again, is sort of there to be the comedic grandma and say, you can do it. And like I said, you just go through the checklist of, oh, okay, the other character, whatever, Maui, who's gonna be full of himself, but he's kind of likable, but he's gonna be a screw-up, and he's gonna make things worse, and at some point he's gonna feel like he can't do it, and things went wrong, he's gonna go away and say, no, there's no chance, and at some point he's gonna come back. Again, we've seen that, but in those they always add either a new twist or a new point of view, I guess. Just this new point of view on this idea. And in this one, they don't even give the point of view. I really don't think I'm ruining anything by saying this. He goes away thinking he can't do it or thinking all is lost, and then he just comes back. There is no reason why he comes back. They never explain it. They never talk about it. Even the reason why he leaves is not very well set up. So it's one of those things where I kind of felt like throughout this whole movie, they're kind of going through the motions, and there wasn't that much sort of veering away from it, with the exception of one or two things that weren't big enough for me. They felt like they weren't different enough. To give you an idea, the comedic sidekick, you see him in the trailers everywhere, that little chicken with sort of the wide-eyed whatever, kind of looks like the bird from Finding Dory the more I think about it. But this chicken gets dragged along. Now, in most Disney films, there's always a comedic sidekick, but they serve a purpose. They do something. Abu in Aladdin, he would steal things and he would help Aladdin out and stuff like that, in Frozen, he gives the inspirational speech at the end to help Anna out and stuff like that. He helps open the window, he helps do all this stuff. This one does nothing. Absolutely nothing. And on top of that, there is another comedic sidekick that shows up in the beginning, completely disappears, and then shows up at the end. It's that pig. Yeah, remember that pig? Like, after the movie was done, my wife leans up to me and says, boy, the pig sure got the shaft, didn't he? If it's even a he, we don't even know it's a he or she. Maybe they said, but it wasn't on long enough for us to know. And so much of the film sort of felt like that. And the same thing with the villain, which, they kind of take a while to get to it, but once you do see the villain, it's kind of like, oh, well, looks neat for a little bit, and then you see where they're going with it, and it's like, okay, maybe I can see why it was kind of kept a secret, but man, what you could have done with that villain, especially when you find out what the villain is, and, sort of the emotions there and everything. Well, when you finally get to the defeat of the villain, okay, I don't think I'm giving anything away. When you get to the defeat of the villain, they're trying to make it very big and very emotional, and visually it's not bad, but the emotions weren't there because Moana and Maui are these archetypes that we've seen a lot. She just wants to travel, she wants to see the world, but she's told no, but she's gonna go do it anyway with the help of her supportive grandma that says, go do it, go, and she goes and discovers everything, but she's in a little over her head, so she has to find a way to, still be proud and strong, but goof up every once in a while, and then she comes across Maui, who's always got the one eyebrow up, and he's always sort of full of himself, and it's even his lesson learned at the end. He's the one that caused everything in this movie, really screws everything up, and he just sort of gives a little apology at the end, and it just means so little. It does not mean a great big deal, and even when he's going there, you don't feel like he's going there because he really messed things up and he needs to find a way to make things right. He's just going because this sucks. Well, I might as well be a hero again. I want to be a hero. And yeah, you do not feel the emotional weight of this. And I do say as a problem, but again, I see it as a problem for Disney, because I do judge Disney so harshly, and I do look at these things of how can we make it better, how can we make it stronger, how can we get, another Toy Story, another Frozen, another Tangled, all these movies that just have, are just so massive and so impressive. So if you're just looking for a fun adventure, a fun family adventure, you'll like this fine. Even if you have kind of a critical mind like I do, you'll definitely get stuff out of it. Oh my god, I forgot to mention this, I'm sorry, because I definitely said I was going to mention this. I was talking about the formula, and the checklist and stuff like that. There's one scene, I just don't know what the hell was going on. It's where they see this turtle. It's this giant turtle, and I guess it's funny, but it's so weird. It is beyond crazy odd, and just the pacing changes, and the style, the look of it changes. Just everything in the movie kind of changes when this turtle shows up on screen, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it goes scary, sometimes it goes really just laughably weird or silly. And it is just the most bizarre thing. So, yeah, I just had to bring that up because the rest of the film kind of seems like this one note that you're familiar with. Then there's this, what the hell moment, and then back to that one note. So, yeah, aside from that scene, which again, I don't even know if I can say it's like, yeah, that was well done. I don't know what it was. It kept my attention. I was definitely like, oh, what was that? Even, again, my wife was saying, like, yeah, even the song seemed weird. All the other songs were kind of nice and had this nice melody. Like, that one just seemed like it had, like, a melody, then be interrupted, then another melody would come in, then it would kind of work backwards. And it was so bizarre. So there's that scene, this very, very bizarre turtle scene. But I wasn't against it. It was just very bizarre. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on the movie. And, like, I still recommend it. I still say go see it. If for any other reason, the movies I've often said I think are okay, people love. I think I said Big Hero 6 was okay. Zootopia was a little better than okay. But yeah, people, I mean, those are huge hits and people just adore them and they dress up like the characters and stuff. They say it had a big impact. So, I mean, definitely, I still really recommend it because if I think it's okay, you're probably gonna think it's like really, really good. So yeah, that's about it. Like I said, my big problem is that I just felt like there could be a few more twists, a few more surprises. I kind of felt like I knew where it was all gonna go, and visually, the Hawaiian Islands are very pretty, but it wasn't grabbing me. It wasn't like, wow, look at this incredible visual again, except for the very beginning and the very ending. But yeah, but that's just me. That's just kind of my take on it. I think it's a perfectly fine, enjoyable family film. I think kids can see it. I think adults can see it, and everybody can get something out of it. PG again is a joke. I think they have a peeing in the river thing, which you don't see. They just kind of say, and it's like, that makes it PG? There's no reason to have it be PG. There really is. So any parent that's afraid to take their kid or anything really creepy, it's not. It's a pee joke. That's, I think, about it. I can't even remember anything else. But, yeah, that's about it. Definitely go check it out. Tell me what you think, too. I'm curious if this is another one of those where everyone's like, how do you think it's only okay? Kind of thing. Or if other people are like, or maybe even don't like it. It's hard for me to see someone, like, not liking it, like, getting nothing out of it. Because it is still pretty creative. But, yeah, let me know what you think below. I'm actually really, really curious to see what people took from this film. If they took a lot from it or didn't take a lot from it, or if it offended them somehow. I have no idea. So, yeah, that's about it, people, and I will see you next time. Take care.